Hey, how's it going?
Hi.
Want to give this a shot?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right, cool. So are you smarter than a fifth grader? I guess that's the first question, right?
I hope so.
Right? I
Yeah.
hope you are too, right? Pretty sure you are.
Yeah.
You're honest. So I have 3 water bottles here. And then the conditions are that all of these water bottles are at rest, right? You know what that means,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. So they're all still. And I filled them halfway with water, and I painted the water blue with food coloring just to make it easier to see the water.
Okay.
You know. So since we understand the conditions, right? How I'm showing you these 3 water bottles, what's the difference between them?
It would be. I mean, obviously, it's just the water that's in it. There's air. There's not going to be air at the bottom here, so like gravity's not pulling the water down. Here, there's air at the top, and here, there's all of the air sitting on the right side.
Okay, sure. That's obviously what we're
Yeah.
observing. But how was I able to achieve that? What's the difference between these 3 water bottles?
How were you able to achieve these 3 like?
3 different effects while the water's still at rest.
For this, you sucked all the air out of the water. Is that an answer?
No, okay, I'm gonna give you a hint.
Yeah.
I took 3 different photographs
Right.
of a water bottle, one like this,
Yeah.
one
Okay.
like this, and
you,
one like this.
You just distorted the. Okay.
So,
Okay.
since obviously I already told you what I did,
Yeah.
can you tell which one is which?
Well.
So which one's the one that I took upside down with the water?
Well, upside down would be this one, and this one would be just straight up like that,
Okay.
and this one on the side.
Okay, what's telling you that that's the correct
Oh,
position?
wait. Let me think about this. Hold on.
No, yeah, I think you got it. So if you had to turn them in the correct position,
Yeah.
how would you turn them? You could turn them.
Turn them. Oh, like.
Yeah,
Oh,
okay,
I see what you're
there
saying.
you go.
Yeah. Okay.
And there you go.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. So
Okay.
that's the difference between the 3 water bottles was the orientation of the bottle.
Yeah. But
Right?
I
Do you
thought.
agree?
Yeah, I thought the question was like if the bottles are all like this.
Yeah.
And.
Oh, I
if
just
the-
said
if
they're
the-
all at rest. I didn't say they were all
Okay,
upright.
okay.
All I said that the bottles were at rest.
Right.
Yeah. So, because obviously they were not all upright.
Mhm.
You know, one was upright, one was upside down,
Yeah.
and one was sideways. But I showed them all upright, just to give you that effect. That
Okay,
there's something
okay, I
wrong
see.
with the water, right?
Yeah,
The
yeah.
water can't just stick to the top of the bottle.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
defies physics. So
Yeah.
the logical explanation is that I took it like that.
Yeah.
And again, the water cannot fill the bottle like that.
Right,
Yeah.
like this.
Yeah, exactly. That defies physics.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So obviously, I took it like that.
Okay.
So it's just very elementary physics. You know how
Okay.
water behaves.
Yeah.
So you got it. So the second one has to do with water as well.
Okay.
It's even easier. So another thing about water, when it's contained and at rest, it always finds its level.
Mhm.
So I can deviate the bottle, but water always finds its level. I can't deviate, water.
Right.
Water, obviously, when it's at rest, it always levels out, like a pool. You know what I'm saying? So, what would be your definition of level?
Of level.
Yeah. So
It's
we have
at-
one of these
It's at it's at a 90-degree angle.
from the vertical.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good definition. Yeah. So the one-word definition will be horizontal.
Yeah.
Yeah, or no deviation in elevation, right? Because if I'm holding this like this, it's not level.
It's not level.
Exactly, it has to be like perfectly horizontal line, which
Right.
is perpendicular
Which is
to the
90
vertical. Exactly, you got it. So since we understand how water behaves and what level means, so if we have a body of water that's contained and at rest, which one of these 2 represents level as we know it? A or B?
I mean, this one, right?
Yeah, it's the obvious
Yeah.
one, right? There's no deviation in
Yeah.
elevation. And obviously, this one does have deviation, right?
Right.
So you could say this water's being poured out, or somehow, that's what.
Something's it.
Yeah, it's not at rest.
Yeah.
That's obvious, right? So the real reason I'm doing this is
Right.
because over 95% of the population, including myself and maybe you, have been tricked to believing this is what level means, even though we know it's this one.
Okay.
You want to know how we were tricked?
How's that?
Do you believe the Earth is a ball?
Well, yeah. Yeah, of course.
So NASA, they claim to have satellites orbiting the Earth, right? So they need to know the radius of orbit. So they need to know the radius of the Earth. They're supposedly going around it. So they do tell us it's 3,959 miles, which means there has to be curvature every mile, and every mile it has to increase.
Mhm.
So in the first mile, again, based on the radius they're giving us, there should be an 8-inch drop. Second mile, 32 inches, and by the third mile, there should be 6 feet of curvature. So if we went out to a giant body of water like a lake
Yeah.
to physically measure for this curvature, the lake is going to show us that it's going to be parallel or level to
Right.
anything, horizontal above it, but they're trying to tell us that the surface of water is bending 6 feet in 3 miles.
Okay.
So they're trying to say that the water is bending 6 feet in 3 miles,
Yeah.
but again, physics shows us that that's impossible.
Yeah.
Because water can't support itself like Jello.
Yeah.
You know, water doesn't have form.
Yeah.
It needs to be contained,
Yeah.
and once it's
In
at
the-
rest,
in the
it equal
container.
exactly in a container.
Yeah.
So again, to claim that the Earth is a ball defies basically basic physics,
Right.
the physics of water, to be specific. You know. So if I was to ask you respectfully, what's the number one proof that makes you believe that the Earth is a ball, or the reason that makes you?
Well, for me, like, I like to think in like more of a scientific way.
believe? Sure.
Whatever you are able to observe, you can prove that is a fact. So if you're far enough from the Earth and you're able to take a good picture that you could physically observe, I think that's all the evidence that you
Okay,
need.
I'm glad you brought up pictures, right? So that's what you're saying, pictures,
Yeah.
right? So this is an official NASA image from 2012,
Right.
and they call it an image because they admit that they don't take real photographs of Earth. So what they are claiming is that these satellites that they have orbiting the Earth, that they're taking strips of imagery,
Right.
and they're putting them all together in Photoshop. So they admit that these are all CGI. They're computer generated. So a genuine photograph of the Earth doesn't exist. So if I was to ask you, like,
Okay.
why do you think that is? Why do you think NASA or any other space agency took a photograph of the Earth as a whole?
I mean, I think we should have the technology to take a photo like far enough from the Earth, but I don't know why we don't.
Yeah, we don't. That's
Yeah.
a fact, and they admit to this. So I would say that's a huge red flag
Yeah.
that should get people at least thinking that, holy shit, why doesn't that exist, right?
Yeah.
So again, I go back to physics and how water behaves. Because if you're claiming that the Earth is a ball with a radius of 3,159, then again, this curvature should be measurable. Not only that, in 10 miles,
Yeah.
there should be 66 feet of curvature, which is like over a 6-story building.
Right.
So there's lakes that are easily over 10 miles across. And
Yeah.
you're going to expect me to believe that surface of the lake is bending 66 feet from one end to the other? That's retarded. No offense.
Yeah,
but
it's interesting.
yeah. So again, a physical measurement of the Earth is what will debunk the globe Earth claim.
Yeah.
Water in specific, again. You know what I'm saying? So, real quick, so how would you describe the horizon here or here? You know, this is obviously sea level, and this is like 20 miles in the sky.
Yeah, and that.
How would you describe the horizon in these two different perspectives?
I mean, well, like, obviously, are you talking about like the curvature of it?
Well, like the horizon, how would you describe it geometrically?
I mean, it's just a straight line.
Exactly.
Like you can't really. If
Exactly.
you had a ruler, it would probably be a straight line.
Exactly. Even at sea level, and even at 20 miles. So, I would say the word horizon comes from the word horizontal. You know, again, meaning level, meaning no curve.
Right.
So again, even these images defy a globe Earth, because if you're on a globe Earth and you start to elevate up, if you're claiming the horizon curves down away from you, the more you elevate, the more the horizon should stay below your feet. But that's not what happens in reality. The horizon is always in front of you, even when you're 20 miles in the sky, even when you're at sea level.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah.
So again, the Earth doesn't curve down. What happens is we have a limit to how far we can see,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and that's literally the horizon. That's
Yeah.
the limit of our perspective.
Yeah.
So when we increase altitude, we increase the angle of view, or the angle in which light enters
Yeah.
the eye, and we're just able to see further in front of you, not below you.
Not below
So the horizon never drops below your feet. Same thing with the sun. When the sun's already at the horizon, for example, and you elevate up, the sun should stay below your feet. That never happens in reality. It's all perspective. So they're playing on how far we could see and claiming that that's the curve of the Earth, but that's just the limit of how far we can see. Yeah. So physics shows us that globe Earth is impossible. You know what I'm saying? So another thing, real quick, before you go, I know this is a lot of information, but have you ever heard of Euclidean geometry?
Yeah.
Yeah, right? So Euclidean geometry, again, it's what's used to build everything that we see, and it's assuming that the Earth is a level plane. So no architect ever, pilot, engineer, ever takes account of Earth's curvature, especially when building long distances like bridges and railroads. The blueprints always show plumbs and levels. You know, another thing is plumb lines, they're always considered parallel. You know what parallel means, right?
Yeah.
So regardless of the distance. On a globe Earth, however, plumb lines have to converge to a center point, which would mean the plumb lines are not parallel on a globe, but in reality they are.
Okay.
You know, and again, level being perpendicular to the plumb, you know, again, that wouldn't fit a globe model. You couldn't have plumb and level on a globe, but we use plumb and level, vertical, horizontal, in real life, in construction again. You know, what a lot of globe believers would like to say, oh, it's scale, you know, it's just locally, it's flat, or, you know, but when you go into longer distances, then it starts to curve. Okay, well, if that's true, then 8 inches per mile squared, that should be physically measured over a body of water easily, you know, but the fact that it's not, you know. So have you heard of this topic before, right?
I haven't, but like it's good that like it's got my brain thinking about this type of stuff.
Oh, yeah. Well, let me ask you this. Do you think it's possible that we have been lied to about the shape of the Earth, or are you 100% convinced that it's a ball?
I obviously believe the Earth is round.
Sure, sure. But are you 100% convinced that it is, or are you open to maybe
I'm always open to like just thinking about what the other side of the argument says.
Sure.
And of course, like once I'm able to like have a good enough picture, like I could tell you this is a water bottle.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
I could tell you the Earth is round if I have a picture of it.
Okay.
Well, like if you tell me, if NASA takes a good enough picture of Earth,
sure,
then.
So if I showed you a picture of me flying, for example, and it was really good, right? Even a video. Let's say if I showed you a video of me flying, you know, let's say it was really good video, professionally done, you know, maybe Hollywood got involved. Point being is, would you believe I could fly if I showed you a video?
If you showed me a video, just your body flying.
Yeah, me flying, like for example, like Superman, or you know.
No. Well, then I wouldn't believe you.
No? Why not?
Because, I mean, humans aren't evolved to fly.
Exactly, it defies physics.
Yeah.
Right, we're not built to fly.
We're
more dense in the air. The air can't lift us, basically, right? That's a fact, that's obvious. This image, again, you could show me a video too of a globe, which obviously there's movies, Interstellar, you know, there's a lot of movies that show a globe Earth. I mean, they show it in every movie in the beginning, Universal with the globe, right? Point being is, if you're showing me something that defies physics, then that image has to be thrown away until you can show me practically, like in person, you flying. Then I'm not gonna accept a video or an image.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. If you're the one observing it from outer space, type. Yeah. Well, that's also true.
Yeah. So again, if you're showing me an image again that defies physics, because water bending around a globe, again, first of all, a ball is not a container for water. If you pour water onto a ball, it's gonna fall out. You need a container like a bowl. In other words, that's how you contain water.
Yeah.
You know. Again, this defies that fact. You can't contain water with a ball. So the Earth is an extended plane across, and the oceans are just craters. So that's what it is. So just like lakes are craters. And then water fills that crater until it levels out on the surface. And if you keep filling it up, guess what? The water's just going to displace over the edges, and it's going to just displace level always.
Yeah.
You know, you need a higher... So the continents are the container for the water, in other words, for the oceans. That's where the word, in my opinion, that's where the word continent comes from container.
Okay.
You know, so again, the continents are containing the water, and again, it's a level. All the continents are across the way, not down a ball or around the ball. You know what I'm saying? So again, every facet of physics shows us that. Reality is showing us that. You know. So besides images, is there anything else that maybe, you know, that makes you believe that it is a ball, or
that Earth is a ball?
Yeah.
Well, that's the first thing that comes out to mind is just it's you have to be able to observe it.
I'll help you out a little bit. A lot of people would say gravity, right? Would you agree with that?
Yeah,
Gravity
I would.
Okay, I'm glad because this is one of the biggest things going on right now. So you've heard of flat Earth, right?
Yeah.
You've heard of flat Earth.
Yeah,
okay, so flat Earth is a psyop, and I'm going to tell you how the flat Earth is no different than the globe Earth. So when I release this object, you believe that this object accelerated down towards the table, right?
Yep.
What if I told you that the fact is that when I release this, it's the table and everything, the whole ground moving up to meet it? In other words, the reason why gravity is a theory and hasn't been proven is because there's no actual force that can be measured to pull things down towards the Earth. So there's no acceleration in free fall. So what's happening is that the Earth, since we're connected to the Earth, the gravity is not a pull, it's a push. So the Earth is pushing up against us right now.
Well, that argument, like if I was in another part of Earth,
sure.
How would you say that? If I was in another part of Earth, if I was in the opposite side here?
Yeah, so from a globe Earth perspective, it wouldn't work. So in other words, the real reason, the real gravity, which is a push, wouldn't work on a globe, because like you said, how would that work from a globe? It means it has to be expanding in all directions. If the ground is pushing up on you and it's not the object coming down towards the ground, that wouldn't make sense from a globe. It would debunk the whole heliocentric model.
Okay.
Because again, the Earth rising up wouldn't, again, it will have to be expanding, growing the Earth,
Yeah.
which is pretty dumb, obviously. The fact is, again, the Earth is just a level plane and it's moving in one direction, only up. So again, your up is the same up as people in China, people in Australia. We all have the same up. Our ups are parallel.
If the Earth was flat.
Yeah, the Earth is level, yeah. And again, here's the biggest thing. So the Earth is level because, again, we established that level is an orientation, perpendicular to the vertical. The vertical is Earth's motion. So the vertical is the force, but it's up, it's not down. So when you release a helium balloon, what direction does it go?
Up.
Why? Why do you think it goes up?
Because it is less dense than air, right?
Okay, and what about it being less dense in the air?
There's not enough force for the balloon to go back downward towards Earth.
Okay, I will tell you what's happening. So you believe in this force. So if there's not enough, so if gravity is a force that's strong enough to hold the air and the oceans in, how can it not hold helium, which is way less dense, way less light?
Because if the dense air molecules are everywhere around the helium, the dense air molecules will go under it while the helium goes up.
So you're saying those molecules are pushing the helium up?
Not pushing it, not necessarily pushing it up.
Well, buoyancy is a push. You even
Okay.
even the globe Earth model admits to that. So
Okay.
buoyancy is a push.
Yeah, sure, push.
So it's an upwards push. So the thing is, if you're claiming gravity is a pull that pulls air down, it defies physics for gravity to be pulling air down, but at the same time pushing air up to be able to push helium up. So when you have a helium balloon, yeah, it rises up because the air pressure is pushing it up as well, because obviously it's less dense.
Yeah.
This phone is more dense than the air, so the air's not able to push it up like a helium
Yeah.
balloon does.
Yeah.
So that's why this appears to go down, is simply because the air can't carry it, can't push up on it.
Okay.
So anything that's more dense in the air would appear to go down, and it's because the air can't sustain it or push it. Anything that's less dense will get pushed up because, again, the Earth is pushing up on the air, and the air is pushing up on the helium. So that's what's happening.
Okay.
So again, it's the Earth moving up like that. So when you release an object, the object doesn't accelerate down, it just loses momentum and the Earth catches up to it again. So to us, it appears like it goes down because we're moving with the Earth as well. So it's like when you're in a car and a car next to you starts to slow down, it looks like they're going backwards, but you're both still going forward.
Okay.
So in other words, when you release this, it's still moving up, but it's slowing down. So a lot of people would say, well, what's the Earth's speed? What's the speed of the Earth? That's unknown. I don't know what the exact speed the Earth's pushing up. But gravity, again, it's not the pull of the Earth, because that has never been proven. It's the push of the Earth. And again, air bubbles rising through water is the same thing like helium rising through air. Water's more dense than air, so it pushes the water to the top. And that's why you're never going to have air in the bottom, because the air's not, the air can't push on water. Water pushes on the air and keeps it up. But what's pushing the water? That's the question. It's the Earth. Because when you release that, when you put this into free fall, it's no longer connected to the Earth, and that pressure that was inside the water is no longer measurable.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You know how water has pressure?
Yeah.
In free fall, it doesn't.
Okay.
So the pressure vanishes. Pressure is literally another word for push. It's literally in the word press. Pressure, press. So air has pressure here on Earth.
Yeah.
Water has pressure when connected to the Earth. And that's because that push is coming from the Earth.
Okay.
It's the Earth's motion. Sorry, I was getting to this, but motionless flat earthers, again, over 95% of flat earthers believe the Earth is motionless. So in other words, they also believe in a pulling force like gravity. So all these flat earthers, motionless that mock gravity, don't even realize that they believe in the exact same thing. So they're mocking themselves in a way. So again, flat Earth is a psyop if you're claiming the Earth is motionless, because it's actually level. And again, level perpendicular to the motion.
Okay.
So the Earth has orientation, and it's because of the motion. And that's why things appear to go down. Again, it's because the Earth catches up to them again, It's very easy. It's very elementary level.
Yeah.
And that's why this is the #1 censored topic. And to be honest, I don't know of anybody else. There is one other guy that does it in the UK that's doing what I'm doing right now.
Okay.
Going out in reality and speaking to real people, because this is being controlled online.
Okay.
Online, they can easily control this information. My channel doesn't get promoted at all on YouTube. So all the subscribers that I have, or I don't even have many, but it's all word to mouth. Real people sharing it with real people, because YouTube doesn't share my channel. If anything, they remove views, they remove subs, they remove likes. to make it seem like my channel's not growing, right? So because people don't get on board.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So again, it's just it's a psychological war that's going on with this information. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So, I mean, do you have any questions for me about this subject?
No, I mean it's pretty interesting though. Yeah, thinking about everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. It introduces like a new perspective that like you obviously don't think about like while you're going to university, while you're studying.
Exactly.
Which is good. It's good to disagree. I always think disagreement's a good thing.
Yeah. Do you believe in evolution?
I do believe in evolution.
Okay. Well, again, understanding this fact that this place is not a random accident that exploded from nothing and it's a delicate little ball in outer space, understanding the fact that this is intelligently designed basically shows you that evolution isn't possible. You know, in other words, understanding that the Earth is a level plane shows you without a shadow of a doubt that this is intelligently designed. So it was created by people could call it a god, or you know, I don't buy into any religion because religions are just there to keep people stuck. You know, because again, religions can't prove their claims; they're just beliefs. And in my opinion, the globe Earth, the heliocentric model, is the biggest religion on Earth because, again, they're telling you what the Earth is, but they're not proving it. It's just beliefs, just like any other religion telling you what this place is,
right?
And without any proof, right? So again, the globe Earth is the biggest religion on Earth. Not only that, they give you a creation story with the Big Bang and evolution. So any other religion will also give you a creation story. The fact is, nobody knows how this place came to be. That's the fact.
I agree with that too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So again, all these ideas of evolution or creation, they're all just ideas. So the fact is, it was created, but we don't know how. You know, that's the fact.
Yeah, there's, I know for evolution at least, or how even Earth became like a thing, there's obviously like evidence toward, like there's some hypotheses to how Earth is the way it is.
Sure,
how amino acids became a thing, how different molecules like interacted in the way it did to become what Earth is.
Sure.
And
again, it requires gravity to be a force, a real force. Without gravity, the whole model falls apart.
Yeah. I agree with that, but yeah, it's definitely good to think about like how we exist.
Yeah. That's actually a really good thought to have, I think.
Yeah.
I think believing in something that it's not, it takes that curiosity from your mind because you already accepted that, oh, it's this. This is what I believe. This is what it is. But that takes you from the fact that we actually don't know. You know, and that's what makes this place even more magical, in my opinion. That holy shit, we're here alive, experiencing, you know, this reality.
Yeah.
And we don't know what the fuck it is. Like, I think that is way better than believing in a cartoon like this.
Okay.
You know, and accepting reality for what it is. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so are you gonna look into this further, or do you think it's important to know? You think if I was correct and we weren't on a ball, hypothetically, because I can't convince you right away, but let's say the Earth wasn't a ball and it was a level plane, do you think that would be something important to know?
I mean,
before we die?
I think everybody should have the best information they can at the time, right? So like, if I'm studying like an atom, I want to know the most accurate definition of an atom, like at the time, right? So it's same case as this.
Yeah.
It's good to know how Earth is actually oriented, how it's like where it is in our solar system.
Sure. Well, here's another thing. I know you believe in the heliocentric model with the sun, you know, being in the center.
In the center.
Yeah. The fact is, the Earth is geocentric. It's not heliocentric. So the Earth is at the center, and the lights just revolve above us. And they're not what they're telling us. Like outer space, what's outside of the Earth? Because again, we have air pressure here. Again, you know, on Earth.
Yeah.
In order to have air pressure, you need a physical containment. In order to maintain air pressure, you need a physical containment, because if there's a little
air pressure is something that does not need to be in a container. Water is something that needs to be in a container. For air pressure, it has no definite shape or volume.
So if we wanted to create a higher pressure right here, we surely need a container.
Yeah. Right.
So how is it that we don't need a container to create a low pressure or a high pressure?
You're saying for Earth in general?
In general, Earth has pressure.
Yeah.
And then they're claiming outer space is, I wouldn't say it's a perfect vacuum, but I would say it's less pressure than Earth's pressure, right?
Yeah.
It's basically
Yeah.
So in order to have two opposing pressure systems like that, like if we wanted to create a vacuum here, we have to create it in a container, a physical container.
Yeah.
Because if we remove one of the walls, guess what's going to happen? It's going to equilibrium is going to happen.
Yeah.
The air expands to fill the void equally, right?
Right.
So to claim that outer space is a negative pressure next to Earth's pressure without a solid barrier containing the pressure, that defies physics, because the air would rush into space. Again, you have to believe in gravity, this pulling force, which in fact, again, it's not a pulling force, it's a pushing force. This whole idea of gravity being a universal force that pulls everything to centers, that doesn't exist. The force is simply the Earth's movement. It's the Earth pushing up against you. I don't know if you knew, F equals ma, force equals ma.
Force equals mass times acceleration.
Mass times acceleration. Mass meaning something, and acceleration meaning motion. So force is something that's in motion. So the Earth, again, it's the thing that's in motion. So the Earth's force is not a magical pulling force, like, like can pull things invisibly, right? It's the Earth's pushing up, So that's what the real force is. Which again,
so it's an argument, what's pushing on what, basically.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So a lot of people would say, well, what's pushing up the Earth? Well, I don't know what the Earth's mechanism is because I haven't been outside of it. But it is moving through, people will call it space. I would just say it's an area. I don't know what's outside of the Earth, but the Earth has to exist somewhere. But to claim that it's an empty vacuum with other space balls and gas balls, that's cartoon.
Okay.
That's cartoon. So for all we know, outside of this reality, it's probably a bigger reality like this, and maybe those beings created us, I don't know what's outside of this reality. That's the point. But it is moving through space, but not a vacuum of space. It's just moving through an area.
Okay.
Because, the Earth is moving, it's pushing. And that's how we experience buoyancy. An air bubble rising through water only rises through water when it's connected to the Earth. If you have an air bubble rising through water and you put it into free fall, no longer being pushed up, guess what happens to the air bubble? If an air bubble is rising up when it's connected to the Earth, showing you that it's being pushed up, when I put that bottle into free fall and the air bubble is rising, what do you think happens in free fall? The air bubble rising. It actually stops rising.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'll show you. So I did this experiment. And you can see as soon as I release the bottle into free fall, you can see that the air bubble is not rising and it doesn't reach the top. Look at that. So it's rising when I'm holding it. And as soon as I release it, that upwards push is no longer being felt through the bottle or the water.
Interesting, yeah.
Yeah, showing you that there's no force acting down. Again, buoyancy, the air bubble gets pushed in the direction of acceleration 100% of the time. So again, right here I'm pushing the bottle and the air bubble gets pushed in that same direction because the more dense water, again, the pressure of me pushing creates the pressure gradient and is able to push the air bubble in that direction. Because force is acceleration. It's movement.
Yeah.
Something has to be moving to cause something else to move. So in this scenario, I'm pushing the dolly, which is pushing the bottle, which is pushing the water, which is pushing the air. So I'm the force pushing everything, right?
Yeah.
In free fall, if you're claiming acceleration down, the air bubble should get pushed down as well, because that's the direction you're claiming the acceleration. But the fact is, the air bubble doesn't get pushed down; it just stays where it's at.
Okay.
Because again, that's why Einstein came up with his theory of relativity.
Yeah.
Because he acknowledges that there's no force in free fall. He came up with this whole mind-bending explanation of the bending and warping of space-time, which is just bullshit, basically.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just bullshit. But Einstein and Newton are both wrong. Why? Because objects don't accelerate down. It's the Earth. So that's the biggest lie on Earth. People believing that objects accelerate down in free fall, because again, from that idea is where you get ideas like this of ball Earths and space and orbits and all that. Not only that, now you have motionless flat earthers, which over 95% of flat earthers believe that. That's the psyop. So again, now you're debating two different ideas that objects accelerate down, and flat earthers are saying it's electrostatics, and globe earthers are saying it's gravity, but they're both wrong. That's the fact. So that's how they're controlling this information. It's by claiming the Earth is flat and motionless. So I would stay away from anybody that claims the Earth is flat and motionless. Because you could ask them, okay, what makes a helium balloon go up and what makes a rock go down? You need two forces acting in two different directions. You need a force pushing a helium up and you need a force pushing a rock down. The fact is the force is only up, and air is not dense enough to keep pushing on the rock. So the rock only appears to go down. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So very easy, very easy. Before you go, just one more. I'm
Right.
sorry. In this scenario, again, if helium or something that's less dense gets pushed in the direction of acceleration, what direction did I accelerate here? To the right or to the left?
Wait, I'm just give me some context.
So
on
the
what I'm
context
looking
is that the air bubble or anything that's less dense than the medium that surrounds it
Yeah.
gets pushed in the same direction of acceleration that's being applied, right?
at. Okay.
So here we have air, obviously, surrounding the helium balloon and the apple.
Right.
And I'm inside a cargo van. The container is a cargo van.
Okay.
Right? So what direction would you say I accelerated the cargo van? To the right, which is front, or to the left, which is back? If you had to say one direction, what direction would you say I accelerated? So I have an apple and a helium balloon tied to the
Right.
I accelerated this way, right?
Yeah. Wait. If you're going this
So-
way, or you're going that way.
No. The how I'm showing this video.
Yeah.
Either I'm going this way to the right,
Yeah.
or that way to the left. What direction did I accelerate?
I think this way. I like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got it. The reason why I accelerate this way is because, again, when I accelerate this way, the back of the van, the door,
Right.
starts creating pressure in the air inside of the van.
Okay.
So that pressure, the more dense air now, is able to push the less dense, which is the helium balloon, in that same direction. That's why the helium balloon goes front, because it's being pushed by the air, which is being pushed by the van, the back of the van, the door.
Okay.
The apple, on the other hand, that never really moved. The apple got left behind. So because the whole van is moving, the apple's hanging, the air's not dense enough to push the bubble like it did the helium balloon. So the apple only appears to swing back, but the apple never swung back.
Yeah.
It was just being left behind.
Okay.
Because the whole reference frame was in motion.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
And then the air that was able to push the helium wasn't able to push the apple because the apple is more dense in the air. That's
Okay.
obvious. So again, in order to have density and buoyancy, you need motion, you need a force. So again, when you release an object that's more dense than the air, it just simply falls behind from the Earth's motion. And something that's less dense gets pushed because the air is pushing up as well.
Okay.
So again, this is real physics. This is reality. It's how matter behaves. A helium balloon doesn't push itself up, and air doesn't push itself either.
Okay.
It's the Earth that's creating all these effects. Basically, it's the Earth's motion.
Okay.
Again. So I mean, any other questions before you go? I know this is a lot of information.
What's your YouTube channel?
Oh yeah, thanks for asking. Here's my channel. Oh, I have one more in here. You could check it out. I actually go to USC. I've gone to UC Irvine, and I
went?
come here a lot as well
Okay.
to have this conversation. This is the #1 sensor topic on Earth. You could take it.
Oh, okay.
This is the flyer. You could take it. Inside are the 6 main proofs that debunk the globe Earth. You want to give them a read when you're home and you
Yeah.
have some free time. And then that's my channel in the front. And I have conversations like this all the time with different students. I've even had conversations with self-proclaimed scientists, and nobody can prove a globe because at the end of the day, it doesn't exist.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll definitely.
Definitely, man.
look
Appreciate
into
the
it.
chat, man. I really
Yeah,
appreciate it.
for sure. I have finals. So
There you go, man. That gives you something to think about when you have some
Yeah,
free time.
for sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, appreciate it, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no worries. You have a good one.